Welcome to the DentiMax Tip of the Week. This week's tip is the address list. To find the address list, you go to the top left corner of your screen, click on List, and then find Address List. You can see I already have multiple addresses listed in here, and if we choose to edit one of those, you'll see that there are different types of addresses that we could enter. We have the option to enter in an employer, referral, referring provider, a facility, or a lab. The address list is a paperless feature that's designed to take the place of your physical Rolodex. So now you have a digital Rolodex right from within DentiMax. Anybody's phone number that you would have on a business card or perhaps a lab slip would be entered here. You have different types of addresses that you can enter in, and that helps to categorize each one of these items, and those categories show up in different fields from within DentiMax. If we select New Address, we would enter the company name in here. We'll go ahead and put myself in this field. The next step down, we're going to select what type of address I am. I'm not an employer. I may not be a referral, although I possibly could be. I'm not a referring provider. I'm certainly not a lab, so we're going to go ahead and select facility. You can go ahead and populate the rest of this information. You can plug in the best contact number to reach me at. Any pertinent notes would be populated in this note field. Once you're done entering the details for that address entry, you simply click Save Changes. Now here I am in your computer system, and you don't have to hold on to a business card any longer. Having my address or contact information in the computer may not be pertinent to a patient's information screen, but some of these other items listed will be. If we go to the scheduler, you can see that Sandy Thompson is a new patient. If we're going to go ahead and create the patient file, there's a few places that address list will come in handy. The number one place you might run into is the employer section. If we click the drop-down menu, it shows us only the addresses that we marked as employers. If Sandy's current employer is not listed in here, we have the lookup window or the magnifying glass, in which we could click and select a new address and type in her current employer. The most important thing is that you put the company name in here and also select the appropriate type of address entry that you're entering in. That is the minimum amount of information you need to save an address in order for it to be usable in the system. Perhaps Sandy works at General Electric. You can put in the street address and also the phone number to General Electric and any specific contact information you'd like to hold on file, such as the Human Resource Director's name and extension. You can also put any notes down here in the note section that might be pertinent to this address entry. Once you're done, simply click Save Changes, and now we have General Electric as an option to use for Sandy's employer. Another place that the address list carries over onto the patient information screen is this bottom right-hand section. You notice the referral source is going to be who referred Sandy to your office. This is not a specific person, but rather an entity. So for example, we have Dex Yellow Pages. Maybe she found you by driving by your office, or a Google internet search, or a postcard mailing that your office sent out. The important thing to know is that any marketing that your office takes part in, you want to make sure to track that as a referral source and assign it to the patients that found you that way, so that you know if your advertising dollars are being spent wisely. The next section down is referring provider. So this could be any of the doctors that refer to you, and you may have a wider list based on who you refer out to as well. Perhaps Sandy found you by seeing Dr. Jorgensen and he sent Sandy to your office. You can also select a patient referral entry if by chance William Grant sent this patient over as well. The last section here on the patient information screen that's pertinent to the address list is the facility. If this is a patient of a nursing facility, you would choose to enter that nursing facility here in this section. That just helps you keep tabs on where you're finding your patients and who you should thank at the end of the year. It'll also help you track different reports in the report section that we will take a look at next. If I click on my report screen, there are several reports that pertain to the address list. The first one is the appreciation for the referral letter. If you look at the sample listed below, you can see that this is going out to one of the referring providers that we have in the address list. Obviously, making sure you populate his address in that address entry is going to be valuable for when it carries over to this referral letter. It says, "Thank you for your referral of this patient to our practice. We appreciate you very much." And you could simply print out that letter and send it right out to that referring provider. There's a couple other reports that are pertinent to the address list as well. One is going to be the referring provider summary, which again refers to that provider. It's going to show you the total charges that you've produced in your office based on that provider's referrals to you. So thus far, Dr. Jorgensen has sent us $1,300 worth of treatment. The next report I want to look at is the referring patient detail. This is going to be a listing of patients that have sent other patients into your practice. Perhaps once a month you send out thank you letters or small gifts, or simply tell them thank you when this referring patient comes into your office. The nice thing about this report as well is that it tracks the total charges that you've posted out in production, so you can see the value of those patients. The next report I want to look at is the referral source summary. This simply tells you the different referral sources that you have listed as addresses, for example, Dex Yellow Pages and postcard mailings or any other marketing tools that you've put in place, and the total charges produced based on those referral entries. Obviously, if you're not choosing that as a referral source when you enter the patient in, this is not going to track the dollars that you've produced based on that referral source. So it's vital that you enter that information in. The last report we can look at is the referral source detail, and this breaks down the same referral sources by patient and also by dollar amounts per patient. So you can see our postcard mailings have not been as effective as our Dex Yellow Page advertisements. There's one other place that the address list comes into play in DentiMax, and that's going to be from within the patient's chart. I'm going to go ahead and choose James Davis, and we'll take a look at his chart. He has several items in his treatment plan as items that your doctor is supposed to perform. Perhaps a few of these extractions are too complicated for the doctor to want to tackle. Tooth number 32, for example, may be a surgical extraction, and he wants to send that out to an oral surgeon. However, you still want that as part of the patient's treatment plan that you've discussed and also recommended that that tooth be extracted. Since you're not going to perform that particular service in your office, you're going to refer this charge out to another provider. If we right-click on this code and select Referred Out, we get a Refer Treatment Plan To window. And here's where the address list also populates based on selecting that that address entry is a referring provider. For example, if we're going to send this patient out to Dr. Jorgensen to take care of that one tooth and have that extracted, we're going to choose him as our referring provider and select Refer Charges. Taking a look down here at the bottom of our screen, you can see tooth number 32, and that item is still listed in the treatment plan. However, it's easy to see that that item is going to be referred out to another provider. Upon double-clicking on that code, you can look down in the bottom section here. You can see that that item was sent to Dr. Jorgensen. You can also see the date on which that item was referred out and what the total charges are that you're sending out to that other provider had I entered a fee for that item. As you can see, the address list is a great tool to help get rid of all that paper that you continuously have to update in order to keep track of all of these companies and telephone numbers which you might want to have on hand. This has been the DentiMax Tip of the Week. And as always, if you have any further questions, feel free to contact us at 1-800-704-8494.